right, we're going to continue on here on the motion to dismiss charges. So there can be charges filed. An individual gets arrested, right? And once they get arrested, they go to jail or they will get some information that a case is submitted to the district attorney's office. And then from there, the charges can get dismissed either because maybe they're going to become a citizen informant or at the request, there can be any times that they feel that because a person's never been arrested before, they're a pillar of the community, that they can, the issue's already been resolved, so the case can be dismissed in the interest of justice. Continuance, meaning the case is continuing on. For whatever reason, the attorneys may not be able to appear, or there could be all kinds of different things. The officer may have gotten sick, you need to go out of town, and they can ask for a continuance of the case. Oh, going back here, want you to read this and tell me what you learned. One thing, make it good. Motion of severance of offenses, consolidating several charges into one trial saves times and expense, eliminating a separate trial for each crime. This happens when you have a criminal which goes from one town to another town to another town, say all within Stanislaus County, but because it's all kinds of different cities, that they combined all these into one case to make it nice and easy for the prosecutor instead of trying one person in one town and then maybe he might go to another city in another jurisdiction from here to Santa Cruz up to Humboldt, excuse me, and it makes it into one crime. Most state laws permit a series of crimes committed into one jurisdiction by to be combined into one accusatory pleading. Okay. And to talk about the motions for severance again, the motion is based upon the premise that being tried on several counts during the same trial is prejudicial to the individual. And the motion for severance is when two or more defendants are jointly charged with the same offense, they must be tried jointly unless the judge feels that it's the best interest of justice if separate trials are concluded. So, case in point in this one, when I worked the gang unit, usually gang members don't do something by themselves. They go together in a gang, right? That's why they are in gangs. And the most I've ever had was a multiple gang case. It had 6 different defendants, which is very interesting to say the least. And they tried them all together. Motion to determine competency. I want you to read about this. Tell me 2 things you learned. This is to determine whether the person is actually really mentally ill or just claiming to be mentally ill. You notice during this segment, I have a lot of air quotes going on. Don't know where that came from. Just happens. Go with it. But you want to actually determine if the person is trying to get something by or whether they actually are mentally ill. The pretrial conferences are informal meetings used by the judge in the chambers by both attorneys. They determine whether the points are strong or weak, and maybe it can be settled before actually going to court. And plea negotiations. Okay, so here I want you to tell me whether your state, what happened where you found some plea negotiations where the person plead out prior to being going to trial. And it's a plea deal reach. Google plea deal reach and whatever case, name a case, robbery, rape, shooting, stabbings, assault, and you'll find a lot of plea deals. They can be both praised and criticized. Not really a big fan of plea deals because I think, to me, in my opinion, and in the history of what I've seen, the person gets off with a lot less time in jail. My partner was shot at by these 3 people. They got up on a vehicle out of the front. They used to call them T-tops back in the day. Got up, racked a couple rounds in a shotgun, shot at them. We found them, and they pled out to 8 years. I'm sure. Who knows what happened to them? So again, the plea deal was pled out instead of going to trial. And here it talks about it about Brady versus United States, the negotiation of the plea. Tell me about these case laws, what you know about them. Here's all the summary of everything you learned this week. All right. Hey, jump on that extra credit, by the way. It's up to 15 points. Some of you guys need it, some of you guys don't. I used to be the student that needed that stuff when I was going through college. All right, hang tough, you guys. Take care. Bye bye. See you next week.